start with Hofstra. For a team that's their first appearance in the postseason, I thought they were ready. I thought they were scrappy. I thought they were on Max early on the fastball, and that's a credit to them and their coaching staff. They didn't. Everybody we talked to said that they would be ready to play. They're an older team. They wouldn't back down, and that's exactly what they did. We had to play well to beat them. I thought the two things for this game right away off my head that stuck out was Carlson didn't have his best stuff, but he recovered and he made big pitches when he needed to, and that's what you have to do. He realized quickly that he can't throw that heater by those guys today because they're on it, and he made some really good off-speed pitches. And then for us to answer, I thought was huge. Because I'll be the first to tell you, I just was straight up with the guys today and said, I know what you feel like right now. You can say whatever you want to say. It's a different feeling in this postseason even than it was in the ACC tournament. So it's okay to have those nerves and okay to have to take a deep breath because I have to do the same thing. And I thought they did a great job. And Mac coming back and getting us with that home run was huge for us, and to answer almost every time made the difference, and we also made a lot of great plays.
Coach, you talked there about Max, and just 40-something pitches there for the first 2 innings, and we saw a few starts like this in the middle of the year where that pitch count would get up a little bit, and he had trouble getting through 5+ like he did today. Just kind of how does that really kind of speak to just his growth over the course of the season to be able to fight through that?
Yeah, I think you guys saw them up here. Both these guys from Minnesota, they're even keel, have ice waters, what we say all the time with Carly, and we saw that when we recruited him. He pitched in some big games on national television, even in high school. So the thing that he's doing now that he wasn't doing then is he's not walking as many, and he made some big pitches. He settled in. So really, we just told him, in between innings, hey, you're going to have to pitch a little more because his fastball usually plays up against anybody. And a credit to Hofstra, they were on that thing, so he had to make the adjustment.
Michael?
Scott, it seemed like especially early in the game, your hitters were aggressive early in the count. Was that part of the scouting report for Hofstra that you felt like you could jump on them early in the count?
Yeah, their starter, he's going to throw strikes. Same approach really we had against Messick for Florida State. Even if you miss some balls, you can't go up there with the bat on your shoulder. You have to be ready to hit. Coach Weirs does a phenomenal job with our guys. The spin rate was really high. We didn't know that stuff back in the day before analytics, but man, they worked hard this week on being on top of the baseball, and that showed.
Yeah.
Scott, your guys are the 1 through 4 in the lineup are there for a reason, obviously, but they accounted for 11 of the 15 runs. Just how important is it for them to, deliver when it's time to in the manner that they did?
Yeah, obviously, as Coach Williams says, players got to play. And we talked about that, when we were in that little bit of rut in the middle of the season that, some guys got to step up and they have to play better and have to carry us. One thing I'll say, though, is we like our offense top to bottom, even guys off the bench. And we were talking today how Mac, he didn't do a ton in the ACC tournament. He got a big hit against Notre Dame, and Alberto got a big double. But we felt like those two guys really matched up with his pitcher well, and I thought, obviously, Mac showed that, but I felt like Alberto just missed hitting 2 balls out of the yard as well.
Gregory, then Adam, and JB.
Scott, you talked about Max being able to bounce back and go 5 for y'all. Just how big is that for your bullpen as you look kind of the rest of the weekend with this regional, just for him to be able to get 5 1/3 out of what was a rocky start?
Yeah, no doubt. And again, those guys have done that, since we've been playing so well. And another credit to Coach Gaines, having him ready all 4 days and knowing our pitchers and coming to me and saying, hey, I really feel strongly that, Carly's the right guy here and Brandon doesn't recover quite as well. So he threw that complete game and he gets that extra rest. So you have to trust your guys and those guys, Coach Gaines in the bullpen with them every single day like I used to be, but I'm not now. So, that's one luxury of being a former pitching coach.
Adam?
Scott, when you talk about you thought the matchup might favor Mac a little bit or Osuna, what did you notice that made you think that? And then what do you take when you notice that? How do you relay that to those guys to let them know? What did you tell them to look for or be ready for, I guess?
Well, I think both of them can match up against anybody, but everybody has a different swing, and they have a little flatter swing. And we felt like, you know, Camarda's off speed was okay, but he could land it. So if we stayed on the fastball and stayed on time for it, you know, we felt like we could do some damage, and that's just what we worked on. You know, you can get those machines now, and they did the same thing, obviously. You know, you have these machines, and you can get those things zeroed in to about the same fastball you're gonna face. And you know, they did it clearly. They were gonna be ready for Carly's fastball, but our guys were ready as well.
Gregory?
Oh, no, I don't.
I'm sorry, JB?
Coach, were you pleased with the energy and the effort that your team gave from beginning to end, especially with the way you guys ended, you know, the ACC tournament, the regular season, how strong you guys finished, and the expectations coming in, hosting your own regional in the first game? Were you pleased with the level of energy and effort they gave today?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I said to myself, I was an assistant coach at the time. It was a little bit different team just because, you know, we had not been in the regionals for 2 years. But I said to myself after that game and that loss to Davidson, that my goal was to be honest with guys and let them know how they're going to feel. Because it's different. It just is. And I told them, hey, I feel like it. I mean, this is my first, we're hosting the regionals, my first time as a head coach. I'm gonna walk up there and have, you know, more nerves, and that's a good thing because that means you care. But these guys, they've been like this the whole season, even during the tough stretch, and that's what I held on to. They're ready to play. They play hard. They have energy. They support one another, and it's just clear with this team, it's about one thing, and they just want to win the game.
Charlie, then Michael.
Scott, you talk about the nerves and everything, led right into my question. So what did you do to calm down your nerves? Because I'm sure it may have been up a little bit after they hit the home run at first.
Yeah, I just explained to them too, like, you know, you're gonna have them, and then when the game starts, if you control your breathing, which we spend a lot of time on, and again, you know, there are a lot of people that do things for our program behind the scenes. And I'll give a shout out to Jenny Shannon. She works with our guys. She's our sports psychologist, and that's something we work a lot on, is learning how to breathe in big situations, controlling your breathing, showing them videos. And that's what I tell them, like, hey, when you're in those bigger situations, don't think about the situation. Just concentrate on your routine and your breathing. And I've learned to do the same thing as a coach because it really works.
Scott, I know Max said he was going to go eat, but are you going to stick around for the second game, VCU in Georgia?
Yeah, I will. My wife and younger daughter are off playing volleyball, and my older daughter had something tonight, so I don't have anything else to do. There's no reason to go home. Just be me and Moose, my dog. So, you know, I'm just going to watch the game and let our coaches do their job, and you know, watch more video. And I just like to watch teams and just see how they play and how they approach things. But yeah, I'll definitely stay around.
Anybody else for Coach Forbes? So we'll seal, then Evan.
Just curious if Schaefer is definitely gonna make the start tomorrow, or will you kind of tinker?
Yeah, Schaefer will start tomorrow.
Evan.
Kind of relaying off the Colby question with the players, how important was the back of the end of your lineup for getting a second homer of the year? And how can that help you guys moving forward later into the regional this weekend?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question, or somebody asked me something about Colby, because I thought one of the biggest plays of the game, take away him at the bottom, was when he went in the 4-hole. I don't know what inning that was, second inning. You know, we hadn't made that play. We didn't make plays like that during that stretch, and that's why we put Colby in there. And that's not giving the team an extra out, but seeing the ball well. And one thing about Colby is his average doesn't reflect the at-bats he's had. You know, he can hit and run. He can hit a fastball. So we feel good about him down there. And you know, you look at one of the biggest things we did today was we generated a run with a safety squeeze, and he couldn't have put it down better.
7, 8, 9 gave you 6 hits and 6 runs.
Yeah, that's pretty dang good.
Anybody else? Okay, thanks everybody. Appreciate you being here.
Questions? Pat? Max, I guess, I mean, it looks like coming out, they were really kind of sitting on the fastball there early. Just kind of, how'd you sort of adjust sort of as the outing went on?
Yeah, I mean, they were definitely on it. Yeah, I mean, I just had to throw more arm speed, I guess, and mix it up a little bit. And once you started doing that, things started going a little better.
Was that sort of a conversation point when Coach Hayes came out there and then now he's there in the second?
To an extent, yeah.
Max, how much when you're trying to get in the rhythm there to start a game and there's that little bit of a delay after Stokely gets hit, how much does that kind of disrupt your rhythm as you're trying to get one early?
a hot day out today, so I didn't mind a little breather.
Max, what was said whenever coaches came out there in the second inning? It just seemed like whatever happened after that, you struck out 4 straight, didn't allow them around the rest of the game.
Yeah, just had to dial it in a little bit more, and nothing really to it. Just had to get back in there.
Matt, could you tell the ball was carrying a little more? It was flying out in the ballpark today. Could you tell it was carrying more when you started BP?
No, we hit in the cages, so
Okay.
we didn't see that.
Flew out when he hit it.
Yes, sir.
Let me just get something generic from the players as far as just getting off on the right start. You guys hosted a regional, coming in as one of the hottest teams, you know what I mean, in the country, and you want to live up to those expectations. Do you feel like you did that here in your first game of the regional?
Mac, go ahead first.
Yeah, I mean, I think we lived up to it, but we really weren't putting any pressure on ourselves to live up to it. We were just going out there playing like it's in the ACC tournament and the games before that. Just it's like another day for us, just going out there enjoying the game and each other. So.
Max, can I get something from you too?
Yeah, we just gotta attack the day just the same as we have been. Nothing really changes, whether it's regular season, ACC tournament, or national tournament. Every game matters, so we just gotta keep level-headed and go out there and do our thing.
Let's stick with questions for the players, then we'll get Coach Forbes to opening comment, and we'll dismiss the players and finish with Scott. Adam?
Max, they got out to a couple early leads on you guys. Did you think Max home runs sort of helped you guys settle in and find your footing, so to speak?
Yeah, that's always relieving to see when your offense has your back. And I mean, it gives you confidence that you know that your team is behind you. So you can just keep going after guys.
For both the players, comments on Colby's performance, in the 9-hole, getting 3 hits, laying down the bunt, doing his thing on the defensive end. Just what are your comments on his play today?
Yeah, I mean, that kid's a grinder. He's going to go 100% every game, and it's not like a surprise that he did that because he worked so hard. So it's just kind of a matter of time when it would happen, and obviously that helps the team out, and hopefully keeps going. So.
Yeah, early on, while the game was still close, you got a couple big strikeouts with runners on base. Can you talk about how big that was early in the game for you?
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that the entire staff has been doing really well down the stretch, is just making big pitches and getting it done when it needs to get done at the right time.
Charlie?
So Mac, just talk about the home runs that you all were hitting today. I mean, it was a lot of offense out there, especially with the home runs. Just talk about the 2 you hit and the offense in total today.
Yeah, I think hitting is contagious. So once one guy kind of gets it going, the next guy behind him follows, and that kind of showed today. I hit 1 home run, and then everyone else kind of started barreling up balls, and it was just a recipe for success. So.
Greg?
For both players, I guess, Mac, we'll start with you. How do you take today and carry it into tomorrow? Obviously, you guys were able to do that last week. Do you look at last week and be able to go from today to tomorrow?
No, I mean, we enjoy it right now, and then by the time we leave here, forget about it because it's over. Today's game has no effect on tomorrow's game, so just forget about it.
Are you guys going to stick around and watch the game here to see who you guys are playing tomorrow?
No, I'm going to go eat.
Mike?
This is for both of y'all. What was it like to come out, see the big crowd at Bosch, sold out, standing room only? What was it like to see that after coming back from the ACC tournament where it was also a sold out crowd?
I mean, it was great. I mean, that's why you play. You want to be able to play at home in front of your own fans, and it's just, I mean, that's why personally part of the reason why I wanted to come here is to be able to see that, because it's a great place to play.
Yeah, especially after last season when we had some limited capacity at times. Seeing the crowd today, it was really fun. It was really good to see.
Last one for the players, Adam.
Mac, those 2 early homers in the at-bats, were you looking for something and got it? What was your approach each of those first 2 times up?
I was just looking for a fastball, just trying to hit a line drive somewhere, and happened out. So.